Hey yo, you know what we haven't talked about in a while? That Snow White remake with Rachel Zegler. So let's take a trip on over to Disneyland, or more like Dramaland, and see what is all going on. This movie, Snow White 2025, has been a hot mess from the jump, and it just keeps getting worse. We're talking casting fights, CGI dwarf disasters, running a mouth, political tensions with Gal Gadot, and now some shaky box office vibe. It is a wild story, so listen up, cause I'm gonna break it all down from start to finish. Before we dive into the chaos, let's rewind a bit. Disney's been churning out live action remakes like it is their job, which I guess is kinda. Think about it. Cinderella in 2015 kicked things off smooth, then Beauty and the Beast in 2017 raked in over $1 billion. Aladdin and the Lion King followed, both cash cows despite some grumbling about CGI lines looking fake. But not every remake's been a slam dunk. Dumbo flopped real hard, and The Little Mermaid stirred up a casting storm with Halle Bailey, though it still made decent money. Point is, Disney's got a formula. Take a classic, slap some real people and shiny effects on it, and watch the dollars roll in. Snow White is their golden goose, their first ever animated flick from 1937, a legit piece of history. They figured it would be a no-brainer hit. Spoiler, it's been more like a no-brainer headache. Picture this, it is 2021 and Disney drops the bomb. Rachel, a Latina actress, is gonna be Snow White. Now, if you've seen the old cartoon or read the grim tale, Snow White is supposed to be like Snow White, pale as a ghost, right? So, when they cast who's got Colombian roots, the internet lost its mind. Some were hyped, shouting, "Diversity win, yay!" like it's the Oscars. Others, nah, they were absolutely furious. "This ain't my Snow White," they screamed, trending, hashtag, "Not my Snow White" faster than you can say magic mirror. It was like a Little Mermaid deja vu. Same playbook, different princess. People were yelling about sticking to the source while fired back. Snow White is massive in Spanish-speaking countries. Deal with it. She's got a point. Latin America loves the tell, but that didn't calm the storm. Then Peter Dinklage, the Game of Thrones legend, jumps in, calling the whole thing backwards. He's like, "You're still doing the dwarf story. Really? Dude, make up your mind. First, he's mad about the dwarves, then he's side-eyeing the casting. Chaos level? Expert." Speaking of a little Dinklage, he lit a match under the dwarf drama. Disney decided to ditch real actors with dwarfism for the 7 dwarfs and go full CGI instead. Dinklage flipped his little, you know what, "You're still telling that backwards story about 7 dwarfs in a cave?" He ranted on a podcast, basically accusing Disney of fake progress. Actors with dwarfism backed him up, fuming, "This is our gig, and you're handing it to a computer? That is trash." One guy called it discriminatory, saying it's tanking their careers. Disney tried damage control. "We consulted the dwarfism community. We are dodging stereotypes. Relax." But nobody was buying it. The trailers dropped, showing these uncanny CGI dwarfs, and the internet erupted like a volcano. Memes everywhere, dubbing them digital disaster, like it's the 8th dwarf's name. Fans were split down the middle. Some liked the vibe, others were like, "This looks like a bad video game." The dwarf mess just piled onto the casting fiasco, and Snow White 2025 was starting to look like a cursed apple. Just when you think about it, it's peaked. Rachel pours gas on the fire. At Disney's D23 in 2022, she's out here dissing the original Snow White. It is 80 years old. "Super dated," she says. Then she trashes the prince. "He's a stalker. It is weird, weird, weird." She tells Variety her Snow White's no damsel. She's a badass leader now. Okay, the old prince is kinda sus, popping up uninvited. But fans, they weren't having it. The backlash hit like a hurricane. "How dare you trash a classic," they wrote. David Hahn, son of the OG director, said Disney and his dad would be turning in their graves. "Zugh. Tried to walk it back. Oops, got too hyped, my bad." But the internet does not forgive. Memes of her as the evil queen blew up, and the people accused her of spitting on history. Some defended her. Stories evolve. Chill, daddy. But most were out for blood. Zugh. Went from princess to villain faster than you can say fairest of them all. But wait, the chili gets even spicier. Enter Gal Gadot, the evil queen. Gadot's Israeli, ex-IDF, and vocal about supporting Israel. Then you go, tweeting "Free Palestine" next to the trailer like it's Casual Friday. These two sharing a set. You could cut the tension with a sword. At the premiere, Disney skipped a real media line, probably because they didn't want anyone asking, "So, you two good?" Fans picked teams real fast. Some were like, "Keep politics out of my fairy tales." Others cheered their faith for speaking out. Had to apologize again. After a Trump-related tweet went viral, girls got a knack for stepping in it. Gadot's got her own haters from past Israel comments, so this was a full-on powder keg. Snow White turned into a geopolitical drama, and Disney's just sweating, hoping nobody notices. Fast forward to the premiere. After all this madness, you'd think it is DOA, right? Nope. Early reviews were solid. Critics called it enchanting, saying it's one of Disney's best remakes. Got props, shining supernova, and the visuals and songs were fire. One reviewer said the tweaks work for today's crowd, and even the tough Twitter crowd was like, "Okay, this slaps." But here is the rub. Despite the buzz, some posts screamed it is tracking way low. Rumors pegged it at $53 million opening weekend. Peanuts for Disney. People whispered the drama scared folks off, while others said it is just early jitters. The vibes were real weird. Critics loved it, but the cash might not follow. Sleeper hit or just total bust? Jury's still out. Let's zoom out for a second. This ain't just a movie, it is a battleground. Hollywood's been wrestling with diversity forever, and Disney's stuck in the crossfire. As Snow White, it is a lightning rod. Some call it a win. Casting a Latina actress open doors, reflects a global audience. Fairy tales ain't history books, they argue, they evolve. Others see it as a eraser, like Disney's dissing tradition to look woke. Cultural critics have weighed in. Some say it is a bold step, others call it pandering gone wrong. The Little Midget's dwarf fiasco's another layer. Disney tried to sidestep stereotypes, but ended up alienating the dwarfism community instead. It is a classic case of good intentions, bad execution, and comments? They stung, cause people cling to these stories like comfort food. You don't mess with their nostalgia. It is bigger than Snow White. It is about how far Disney can push before the magic breaks. Insiders say Disney's been scrambling. The set was a pressure cooker, and Gadot barely spoke off camera, keeping it strictly professional. The CGI dwarfs? An absolute nightmare. One VFX artist reportedly bailed, muttering, "I can't make these things look alive." Marketing's been a tightrope walk. Trailers lean hard on modern twist vibes, dodging the controversies. They even got a teaser where ad-libbed a line about the prince being cancelled. Too risky, they figured. Disney's banking on the film's charm to outshine the mess, but it's a gamble. So here is the deal. Snow White 2025's been a circus. Casting wars, CGI flops, wild mouth, Gadot beef, and box office question marks. It's like a fairy tale stumbled into a blender. Will it shine when it hits on March 21st, 2025? Maybe. Reviews say it's got soul, but the drama might have poisoned the well. Imagine you're Disney for a second. You got a Latina Snow White people hate, fake dwarf midgets nobody asked for, a star who won't quit talking, and a co-star who's feuding off screen. The numbers hint at a flop. Good luck. They're hoping the songs and a sparkle blind everyone, but me? I'm grabbing popcorn because this ain't over. Hit or miss? You tell me.